I'm Brandon Fink. It's been 3 years since my 5-year-old daughter Khaleesi was killed when the car she was in was struck by one being drove by now retired Wisconsin Senator Janet Bewley. I don't post or talk about it much because it just simply kills me inside, but telling my story is sadly the only bit of justice I'll ever get from my daughter, and I hope that when people hear it, that they just want to do better and want to get rid of the mass corruption in our government and our judicial system in general. So much bullshit happened. I really hope one day I can find it in myself to write a book, but here's a summary. July 22nd of 2022, I got the knock on my door from the police to inform me that my daughter and her mother were killed in a car crash while visiting family in Wisconsin. I called the Ashland Police Department, and I couldn't get any more information than that. They would tell me nothing. It was days later, as I was arriving at the funeral home to start making arrangements, that I got a message from my aunt with an article saying that it was a senator that struck and killed them. The police straight hid that from me. Sadly, that was just the beginning of the ridiculous mockery of justice that ensued. It came out that Bewley was on a phone call doing an interview during the accident, but DA David Meany claimed that that couldn't be distracting at all. It came out that Bewley had cataract surgery the day before and was on the way to a doctor appointment at the time of the accident, yet DA Meany claimed after talking to the doctor, not looking into any records, just talking to the doctor, that she apparently was the first person ever to have that surgery and wasn't given any driving restriction. I call BS on that. Look into it. Everyone gets that restriction for at least a day, and that appointment that she was driving herself to was without a doubt in my mind the very one that she was supposed to go to get cleared to drive. On the phone with DA Meany, he admitted that there was some kind of drug in Bewley's system, and when I asked what, he said that he would look into it and get back to me. Then, instead, when the lack of public information was released, the drug test for prescription medications, such as pain meds that you're not supposed to drive on, was simply not included. So this woman was driving on a phone interview, on mystery meds, to the appointment to get cleared to drive, and was let off with absolutely zero criminal charges. Instead, he claimed that since Callie's mom was speeding and had a totally legal vape in the car, that there was absolutely no chance that Bewley couldn't have been even partially at fault in this. Now, I am in no way denying the wrongness or shittiness of Khaleesi's mother, and if I could just blame her for it 100%, then maybe I'd feel some sense of closure. But I cannot. 3 wrongs do not make a right, and Bewley at very least deserved tried in a court of law and to have to face me and the other victims, but Meany just made it all go away. There was never a public release of information, and when I requested everything that was dug up for the case, I got a thumb drive with 4 files on it. The initial police report, statement from the DA, fireman's report, and of course the incomplete hospital records. And I was told that if I shared any of that I would get in trouble. How is that a public release? No witnesses. Even though I was told by my lawyers that local business owners hoped she got charges just because of the way Bewley acted at the crime scene like nothing happened. It was just a little accident, directly after taking the life of 2 American girls. No tears, just protecting her public image. No medical records from the eye surgery. No transcript of the DA's conversation with the doctor that I was told would be there. Barely anything at all. Nothing on the investigation at all about how Bewley had just left a party in the afternoon when this all happened. The biggest piece of evidence that Bewley was guilty as hell of at least involuntary manslaughter is the absolute lack of evidence that came out. The DA waited months and months to make his decision not to press charges, supposedly to wait on the medical records. The same ones that he chose to not even look at because he just quote-unquote talked to the doctor. Bewley was allowed to retire on the taxpayer's dime before that decision was even made. How messed up is that? The woman never even reached out and apologized in any way. I'm told she said sorry in a public interview, but I certainly never saw it, and I was told that I was better off not watching the media about it. During that long wait for the DA's decision, so many obviously messed up things happened. My lawyers from Edgar Snyder and Associates had to get a lawyer from Gruber and Gruber, Eric Knobloch in Wisconsin, to handle things since it happened in another state. And the man was just obviously against me from the very beginning. I continuously threw red flags over the stuff that was going on for him to straight up side with Bewley. The man did not even try to act like he was on my side, and no matter how much I told all this to Christine Zaremski-Young at Edgar Snyder, as well as straight up telling her I did not want this man representing us, we need to find someone else, she ignored me and came into my house with a friendly face and sat on my couch and looked me in the eye and tried to convince me that she knew it was best and promised me as a mother and parent that she would fight for justice for my daughter, to then turn around after the DA's decision and refuse to fight for her. Bold-face lied to me as a mother and parent just to turn around and stab me in the back and, of course, still take her money. Her and Eric didn't even do anything when Bewley's lawyer straight up threatened that if I kept on sharing what I was learning on social media, that they would make my life difficult. Like that was a thing you could even do to a man that just lost everything he loved. But they did absolutely nothing. Please, please, if anything ever happens to you, trust me when I say the people at Gruber and Gruber or Edgar Snyder do not have your best interest at heart and will straight fuck you in the end to make their quick dime. Again, this is just a summary of the messed up shit that happened, especially when it comes to Eric Knobloch, D.A. Meany, the Ashland Police Department, Christine Zaremski-Young, and Janet Bewley. The absolute lack of closure of this just haunts me every damn day of my life. It makes me hate myself, especially as I see others suffer from it still 3 years later, like Khaleesi's daycare friends, my sister, who after meeting Khaleesi's silly little self decided to have her own kid, and my parents, who lost their first grandchild, and all kinds of other friends and family whom I love, that I now have to walk through life feeling like I failed every single one of them, especially Khaleesi, for not being able to get a single grain of justice for her because of all these people involved with this joke of a justice system. And they get to go on happily with their lives completely unscathed, again, some even on the taxpayer's dime. All I can hope for is that these people's families somehow hear my story and realize what pieces of scum they are related to and are completely disgusted by them. I also hope maybe others that write for news or YouTube channels see this and want to talk to me, because again, sadly this is the only sliver of justice I will ever get, is letting my story be heard. And more than anything, I hope that karma finds the people at Edgar Snyder, Christine Zaremski-Young, Gruber and Gruber, Eric Knobloch, David Meany, the Ashland Police Department, and of course, Janet Bewley, who, by the way, on top of having her lawyers threaten a father who just lost his child, never apologized, and instantly tried to protect her public image, has completely disappeared from all social media since this happened. Does any of that sound like the actions of an innocent person? Thank you for taking the time to hear my story. I am Brandon Fink, the father of the beautiful, smart, and caring little girl whose life was taken. I've yet to meet another kid that young that cared about others like my Callie did. If you seem sad around her, she would go to her room, dress up like Elsa, and come out singing. She deserved so much better than this. Please help me share my story. Thank you.